Hey guys, this is Dan. Thank you for watching Engelgeist. This is my channel. Welcome to those that are new, and welcome back to those that are returning. Also, thank you to those that watch me over on Patreon. This is the daily forecast for all signs. This is for Tuesday, February 15th. Do not get caught up on the date. If you're watching it on a different date, it still might be a reading that could be for you. If it doesn't resonate or doesn't make sense to your life, it may not be your reading. Just take what you need and leave the rest. Please check out the drop-down menu, and there's all the information you need to know about booking a private reading or following me on social media. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the reading. Share the reading out on your social medias. And beyond that, what else? Or leave me a question or comment if you feel so inclined. I do read them all, and I appreciate them all. So let's see what's going on in the cards for Tuesday. We have pain and pleasure. Interesting. I think this is the devil, to be honest. Let me double check that before we move forward. Pain and pleasure. I have a feeling that's the devil, guys. But let's see what's going on here. Emperor, the twins would be the lovers, imagination, strength, the hermit, time, experience, Passover, that would be death, I think. No, that's death. Temperance, the way shower, it's the star. Yeah, this is the devil. What's keeping you in bondage? What's attempting to dominate you in this matter? Okay, so this is the devil associated with Capricorn energy. It's two men bound at the waist, kind of pulling in different directions. It's sort of interesting that we've seen all major arcana in the early part of this week. We have the Fool card underpinning this. If you want to reference Sunday's video, that's the underpinning energy of the week, and it kicks off with the Fool, which is new beginnings and journeys, right? Excitement. Yesterday we saw the High Priestess, right? And she came in kind of telling us to just sort of be observant, maybe not take too much action, trusting our own self and our own wisdom, our own knowledge. The devil, to me, I don't know why, but normally the devil represents being bonded to something, our Achilles heel, like being shown like where our weak points are at in a very kind of dramatic sort of way. We could be being shown something that we don't necessarily want to see on this day. We could be being shown something that we need to work on or that we need to release, let go, loosen our grip upon, or allow it to loosen its grip upon us. But one thing I feel like when I look at this card, just from the art of this card, is this card feels torn to me, like torn between two directions, torn between like two decisions, and being kind of tortured by that, right? Maybe it is the torture of the choices that one might need to make on this day that is hard for you or scary, challenging in a way that is profound, right? Because major arcana cards are going to pack a bigger punch. I feel like with the Fool underneath this, it's like, are we going to stay in our old ways of what's comfortable, which would be sort of like the devil's energy, or are we going to pursue a new route, a new journey, a new opportunity? That's kind of how I would look at this. Do we stay stuck in the past and what's worked for us in the past, or do we move towards something new in the future? It may be unknown, it might be scary, it might be challenging, but are we willing or brave enough to do it, right? Capricorn to me is a sign that's associated with like kind of doing the right thing, right? Or showing up for the right reasons and being kind of the workhorse, one of the workhorses of the zodiac, right? I feel like Capricorns and Taurians are very much the workhorses of the zodiac. But with this card, to me, it feels like there might be some sort of, I don't know, like a social constraint, a requirement or obligation that holds us back, that we might be struggling with. Like I feel when I'm looking at this card, I feel like we want to move forward, but we're not sure that we're allowed to, or we're not sure that we can. That's the sort of bondage that I get from it. I don't necessarily get like an addiction aspect to this card, like that the devil would normally represent, uh, or an obsession. It feels more like we feel trapped, stuck, held in place. And so it's up to us to sort of struggle our way out of this or fight our way out of this. But on some level, we're fighting ourselves. Does that make sense? So, like, if we find ourselves not wanting to move forward out of what's, not wanting to depart from what's familiar, that could be us sort of fighting against ourselves rather than doing what we know we need to do, which is chase the unfamiliar or the new path, the thing that kind of seems unknown or scary, if that makes sense. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this. I don't know if that resonates with any of you, but to me, it feels like we know. Yesterday's card of the High Priestess, there's something within us that knows exactly what we're supposed to do. Are we brave enough to do it, is the question. Are we brave enough to put ourselves forward? Are we brave enough to move forward, or are we going to stay kind of stationary, stuck in what has been familiar and felt maybe even, I don't want to say stable, but the Capricornian energy would say that it might have felt stable even though it wasn't the best thing for us. It felt familiar, at least, I'll call it that. And so are we willing to go after like face our demons or face our laziness, face our procrastination, face wherever we get in our own way, and start to challenge that and move towards something different, some new behavior, some new idea, some new sort of uh, opportunity for us. I just want to see, what was the midweek card? The midweek card was that Two of Wands, which would be about burgeoning desire. There's something that we want, and I don't think that we're sure enough with this with this devil card here. I feel like we might have to struggle within ourselves to trust ourselves enough to go after it, to want to even desire it, to even want to create it. And so we might feel torn, like stuck in, oh, well, things here aren't so bad. They're not exactly the way I want them, but you know what? It's comfortable here. So why rock the boat, kind of thing. But if we don't rock the boat, then the boat really doesn't ever change. And then we don't ever really get where we want to go. And we don't, do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of got that vibe to it. So it could be setting us up for like not a more darker experience, but like a more, I don't know, miserable existence if we don't take the risk, is my feeling. Now let's look to the Secret Oracle. Stand up and fight. Okay, bitch. So whatever is challenging us, we are being told to stand up and fight against it. Like, go after what you know. Look at this fierce warrior goddess. She is not playing around, right? And remember, the word for the week, the grounding stone for the week is promise. And I feel like if we've made some sort of promise to ourselves, or if there's something out there that feels as though it's full of promise, right? Opportunity, and we're not quite sure that we know how to get there or to achieve it, or whether or not we deserve it, or all of that sort of stuff. The devil's trying to hold us in place and tell us that we don't. Right? The devil's trying to hold us in place and tell us, no, stay here where you know it's familiar and it's easy. Stand up and fight is saying, no, bitch, stand up and fight. Go after the thing that you want. Respect yourself, your wisdom, your spiritual self enough to move forward towards the Two of Wands and begin to create whatever it is that you desire, or whatever it is that you're looking at that you want to be there, right? That you're wanting to head towards. If the struggle is real within you, that's okay. I kind of feel like the devil is here to let us know that we're supposed to struggle, because it's worth the struggle. It's worth the standing up and fighting. Because in the end, if we're able to achieve it, and that's an if, right? Because there's many different things that we can be believing, creating, and manifesting all at the same time. But if we are able to achieve it, we will be greatly rewarded. And even if we're not able to achieve it, right? Say we go after it and it doesn't actually quite happen for us, at least we tried. Right? At least we extended ourselves and tried. We slayed our demons, or we fought our what's the word I'm looking for? Like our familiarities that maybe don't serve us anymore, and we challenge them in such a way that we tried to make something different. So let me read Stand Up and Fight. Sometimes we experience moments when we see a situation as being unfair, when we feel dismissed, unheard, disrespected, or oppressed. It is essential that we all learn to recognize injustice and speak out against it. If this is the case in your present, then it is time for you to stand up and be more assertive. It is time to fight, speak up, demand a just and equitable outcome. There are also times when we fight for the wrong reasons. We find ourselves triggered by an opinion or an action, reacting first and thinking second. We overreact and see personal attack or disrespect where none exists. We all have triggers, and sometimes those triggers will be with us for our entire lives. But if we learn what our triggers are and are more mindful of how they make us behave, they can have less influence. Sometimes we have to make a conscious effort to dull our blades instead of sharpening them. Learn to recognize your triggers. What sort of treatment or language makes you feel angry, afraid, and reactive? They are also circumstances There are also circumstances when the best way to fight is by doing nothing. Be careful not to waste your time and energy fighting a battle that will not bring the change you need or serves only to make an attacker feel more empowered. Instead, bide your time. Remember that you own your feelings, nor do you require anyone's validation. So some of you, this stuck devil feeling too could be, maybe we just ride it out. But I legit feel like there is an opportunity here for us to move forward if we're willing to sort of face ourselves in our, say, more weaker forms, if that makes sense. The grounding stone for today, while we are doing this and while we are standing up and fighting, is happiness. So trying to ground in an idea of being happy, remaining happy, pursuing happiness, all of that would be ideal for certainly putting off this devil or fighting off this devil, whatever that may be for you. Stand up for your truth, guys, today, and pursue your happiness. The fool wants that happiness. Chase after it. Don't let the devil block it. Right? Whatever your devils may be, if they're in your mind or around you in your life, don't let them block you. Keep moving forward. That's the message, and do so happily. That happiness will be a high enough vibration that it will put a stop to whatever is trying to hold you in bondage or hold you back. That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so much. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave a question or comment. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We will see how these cards change. And hopefully you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.